In this activity, what we're going to do is we're looking at the properties of quadrilaterals. This would fit best at the end of the quadrilateral unit, right before our unit assessment. This is a four corners activity. Um, so they're going to open up the activity. They're going to assign each group member a math symbol to represent themselves. They're going to move from slide to slide, trying to stay together. They're going to try to come to a consensus before moving to the next slide. If someone disagrees and they cannot come to a consensus, that's okay. They can just move on. What we're looking for here is great discussion out of the students so that they can deeper their understanding of the concepts. And we want them to complete all 10 slides and then turn in the finished slideshow at the very end. So here I'm in Google Classroom. This is the activity that they're going to open up. We're going to go ahead and open it. We're going to create a copy for our own. Students would go into share and they would share this document with the other three members of their group. Then they would go in and they would type in, we're going to go John, Jane, Joe, and Julie, just so I can get them all confused with each other. They sound very similar. And so here's our first slide. They get to their first slide together. They decide whether they think which of the four quadrilaterals best represents a quadrilateral with opposite angles that are congruent and bisected by the diagonals. So all four members of the group move their objects up to the rhombus, which is the correct answer. No disagreements. They move on to the next one. What's the most specific name of the quadrilateral with diagonals that are congruent and bisect each other? So we have one person that thinks it is a rectangle. They agree. This person thinks it's a rhombus again. This person also thinks it's a rectangle. Well, if they don't come to a consensus, they start talking about the different properties of the different quadrilaterals. If they do not come with they do not come up with a consensus, that's fine. As long as they're talking about it, I would be circulating the room, offering any kind of counsel or leadership that they need. They could also, I would not mind if they talk to other groups. The idea is to get them talking about the math. As soon as they finish this up, each student should have their copy. They would close out of this, go back to their Google, or this should now be in their Google Drive. So I'm going to go ahead and add from Google Drive. And let's see. Here it is. And we would add that and go ahead and click turn it in. So once they're done with all 10 questions, they would go ahead and turn in the activity. The work should be turned in now. We can see that it's done. We hop back to Google Drive or Google Classroom. We can see here that it's checked and done and ready for me to grade.